I'm not proud of those things. There was a trickle effect of how it affected each situation, but also the ultimate heart and goal of what I hoped for in my life. The hope in my wife, the one that I truly love and want to spend the rest of my life with. You want to see what's in the gift. And you might view it like that. Plenty of people view it like that. It's not a game. It's real. It has an effect. The most beautiful ever. All right, I hope y'all ready. I got a juicy one here for you today. I know there's going to be a lot of points that are going to be talked about, discussed, and that's good. I want them to be considered and thought about and reflected upon because I think it's a very important topic. All right, so let's go. So, that's so. I get it. I understand. That's important. It's important for you to understand, for you to get it. Very important. That's key. And then we got the, oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Nice. All right, so the topic is sexual integrity. And I hope that you guys take it seriously because it is serious. And I'm not going to be getting into every detail, every nook and cranny, but I think you guys will get a clear understanding of what I'm trying to say in this video. So, with that in mind, I know that people, especially nowadays, have more of a flexible, loose perspective approach to this topic. As I normally say in my life, do whatever you choose. It's your choice. You can do whatever you want. Each person is an individual. You have the freedom to choose. Even when feel like we're forced to do something, we always have a choice. Always. But that doesn't always mean the result is going to be beneficial. What we do, how we approach things, how we decide and act upon something, it matters because the outcome comes from that. It's difficult. It's very difficult. But at the same time, that's where strength of character and being willing to endure difficult times is important. I mean, I think there is important reasons to delay satisfaction for certain things to get a better benefit. For example, in finances and in business, people don't just withdraw their initial earnings and just say, okay, I earned enough. Like, let's just kind of forget about gaining future revenue. Let's kind of not worry about that long-term outcome. Let's kind of just take it for the moment. I think people that are very successful realize this is a long game. We need to wait it out. We need to continue in this long, enduring process to gain maximum benefit. When it comes to sexual integrity, it's very similar in that way. It's a long game. We in this culture nowadays are way more opened up to the opportunity, to the avenue of sexual promiscuity, even the mindset, even just to view things, even just to see the broad spectrum of this is how things are normalized. It's just, this is normal. This is just the way it is. But if we want to look at what actually breeds success, what actually is useful. It's when you cherish your sexual purity. I know for maybe some men, they think purity is only for a woman. Oh, yeah, women need to stay pure. That's it. No, no, that's not how it works. I'll start with this. Purity is more than just your body being pure, which is very important to, you know, protect your body, protect this dwelling place. But purity is also a state of mind, a manner, an approach to life. I think a lot of it, honestly, starts with the mind. The way you view something. I know, like, for example, there's people that view certain things and they're like, I wasn't even thinking about that. You have a dirty mind. And the truth is I think that's because that's where it starts. Our minds stir up and move in a certain direction. And because of our immaturity of heart, of life, we sometimes are so vulnerable to these fleshly, these desires, these moments that we walk in them, that we engage in them. We became a culture, maybe it's just human nature to be honest, that we just want what we want and we want it when we want it. There's a lot of selfishness of heart, of life, of body. That's why I said love doesn't put yourself first. You don't put your body first either. It's interesting, the way that the Bible describes it, it says that your body, when you become a husband and wife, it says your body no longer belongs to you. It says that you belong to her and she belongs to you. Vice versa, of course, if you're a woman, you belong to him and he belongs to you. Your body does. We don't understand that. We don't even conceptualize that. I know at the same time, people have all these other factors that play into what about this? What about that? I understand. I'm just talking about conceptually. And it's because it's not meant to be abused. You care for their body as you would care for yourself, as you care for something you cherish. You don't abuse it. At the same time, there's a lot more to how this plays out, okay? Because we know most people do not wait till marriage till they engage in sexual activity. And they have a lot of reasons. I know for me, my initial heart was to wait till marriage till I engaged in that type of activity. But I didn't. It started with a few things, and then I kind of came to a mindset where I thought, well, if she's my girlfriend, I mean, this is kind of normal. This is kind of what it is. I think it's okay. Even though deep inside, personally, I felt and I would say knew that it wasn't right, that it wasn't the right way. And over time, what I've learned is personally, and I think it is more than just me, I think it's on the overall spectrum, it's not the right way. I would say over the history of those activities, I'm broken actually because when I look at it, I'm not proud of those things. I look at how it actually compromised what I truly want with my heart, with my life. And I look at how those engagements, there was a trickle effect of how it affected each situation, but also the ultimate heart and goal of what I hoped for in my life. The hope of my wife, the one that I truly love and want to spend the rest of my life with. It all accumulated. There's this idea that I've had for quite a while, And I shared it with some. And it's the idea of you get a gift. It's your birthday, it's Christmas, you get a gift. You have the gift. You're like, oh, this is a nice gift. At some point, you're interested. You're intrigued. You want to see what's in the gift. You're like, okay, cool. Maybe I should just open it. Once you open it, let's say you did it before your birthday, before Christmas, before that time period. You might even put it back in the box. You're like, okay, it's time to open it. You go and you open it. Cool, yeah. You might have overused it. You worn it. That value is diminished. You pre-engaged in the opportunity to receive the gift appropriately. The value to wait is no longer there. You look at the gift in a diminished way. The cost that it costs you is less. And I'll tell you exactly what I mean. You're in a relationship. You're dating. You might even want to get married to the person. If you truly love this person, are you willing to wait? I'm willing to wait, but I don't really want to. Do I have to? But if you love the person, would you? Are you willing to? Is that how much you love them? Or is it more about what you want from this? Let me get back to that analogy. If you pre-engage in it, the value lessens. You don't have the same gratitude towards the waiting. It's not the long endured process that you knew, man, this is what it takes. The value, the cost that you put into it, it's cheapened. It's easier to back out of something if you're not engaged in it a long time. That's why a lot of times when people in relationships are like, man, I was in there for that many years. I get it. It's hard. Yeah. I'm just saying, when you wait, it adds value to it. Let's say both of y'all want to do it. Both of y'all are in agreement. Both of y'all want to engage in it. In my experience, when I've seen people pre-engage, me including, there's something about the relationship that changes. The way you feel, the way you approach things. But the way that you view the person, the way you interact with the person changes. In the last video, I talked about affection. And I talked about how that's important, and I think it is very important. And even when you're dating somebody, I think that's an important thing. Okay? There's an element of self-control that you need when you're dating, when you're dealing with the physical especially. It's okay to share affection with the person you're dating. That's sweet. That's beautiful. But you need to know your limits. You need to know this might take me to a certain direction. Like I said, there's people that say, hey, it's okay. I'm okay with it. It's not a big deal. And you might view it like that. Plenty of people view it like that. And not just because I don't agree, do I think that, oh, well, you shouldn't handle it that way. No, I'm not trying to say I don't agree, so that's why you shouldn't do it like that. I'm trying to tell you there are real reasons that I think have consequences towards your future. I think that it becomes more physical rather than the deeper level of love and respect. There are tone shifts in relationship. Sometimes the sexual nature draws it out of you so much that your mind shifts from caring for the person appropriately to that sexual yearning. I know there's a beauty in sex. There's a beauty in how you handle this concept. It's important. It's very beautifully designed. Okay. I believe that God designed it and it's between a husband and a wife, and how it says the two become one flesh. I think it even shows that in how the engagement happens. I think it's connected. I think there's such a beauty in it. At the same time, I know that we as people get caught up in moments, in emotions, in desires. And when I say caught up, I don't mean caught up in a moment of that. I mean, we get caught up that our life and our heart gravitates towards that rather than being led by what's right, by what's good, by the appropriate approach. If we look at an overall perspective of society, how many people are loose in their approach to how you treat people in these ways? A lot, okay? I think when you handle them appropriately, you will see such a benefit from that approach, from protecting that, from valuing it and waiting and not opening your gift prematurely, but waiting. I know for me, by handling that with irresponsibility, with lack of self-control, even with somebody that I cherished very dearly, even now, I think back and I realize that if I could have just stood on what I knew was good and right, I wouldn't have been as affected in the way that I felt and viewed things, that I would have handled that relationship differently. I think on all aspects is better. I think it's difficult because sometimes we want to know ahead of time what things might be like. We want to play house. We want to, Ken and Barbie play house, like how they do when they're kids. Little girls have the little figures and they're saying, oh, let's pretend. It's nice to pretend, but it's not real. If you're really serious, why don't you get married then? If that's how you're serious, and why don't you endure through it? Why don't you respect each other regardless of what happens? Why don't you continue in that endeavor? It's because it's kind of a game. It's kind of, we're playing. We're just trying to see what happens. We're not taking it seriously. We're not trying to say it's towards one party or another. For one situation, it might be more in this person, on this person. In another situation, it might be more on that person. And I know there's a lot of broken relationships and people and families, and that's difficult and sad. And I can't specify on why each of these happen. I know there's different reasons for a lot of situations. But I think sexual integrity is very important and huge. I was having a discussion with my family today, and we were discussing some things, and based on what we were discussing, I had said that I believe it's set up. You don't pursue that unless it's somebody you're married to or somebody you plan on getting married with. Now, if it's the latter, if it's the person that you plan on getting married with, you don't pursue it as if you are married, but you recognize the person that you're pursuing, the goal will be for that. Now, if that person is not somebody you plan on being married to, don't pursue them. Withdraw from the relationship. Exit and wait and find that person that you do want to get married to. Then when you engage, don't pre-engage. Wait. Commit. Be a person that builds up your character and be that person that you should be for your relationship, the future. Stand on the rock. Stand solid. Then once you commit to your vows, then engage. Be willing. That's what love really is about, is not just having a fulfillment of an activity. I think if we really look at it, we can see how many people have had these activities and walked away broken, walked away hurt, walked away confused, walked away even numb, walked away careless. walked away in so many things that aren't healthy, that aren't beautiful, that aren't something that's you want to cling to. You don't want to cling to those things. Walked away depressed, walked away all these things that you're like upset, angry, finger pointing. Those aren't things you want to cling to. That's not how you want your life to be built upon. But it's because we have to reshift these things. Okay, now there's definitely things I want to address in the later videos. I know sometimes there are outliers in different situations where people want to say, well, this is what's happened. I understand. Don't let bitterness, don't let hurt, don't let these things dictate how you continue in your future. I mean, if that were the case, I would be broken. I would just give up. I would have ran away. I would have done whatever. I wouldn't have cared about who else I've hurt. But that's not the case. I recognize things might have happened. Plenty are my responsibility. Some may have happened that, you know, I may have taken more of a hit. But at the same time, it's up to me to embrace the change that I need to take going forward and walk in that direction. And that's the goal. That's the hope. That's the direction that you want to embrace. Be willing to embrace this change. Okay, again, I want to state, be willing to say no, to hold off, to have sexual integrity, and to wait for that one that you want to share your life with. Wait till you make that full commitment, not just in voice and word, but in that wedding day commitment. This is my right hand again, by the way. But yeah, I mean that's the concept. That's the type of man, the type of woman that you want to be. One that stands on business and waits. It's okay. You're not weak because you do that. You're actually strong. How strong is it to wait? How strong is it? It's not weak. It's powerful. Be willing. You don't need to be directed by that. I've been directed by that a lot of my life. I let it have a hold of me. I hated that. I hated that. But no, that's not the case. It doesn't have a hold on me. It's not a game. It's real. It has an effect. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the man that I am. I'm grateful for the direction I'm going. And I want you to embrace that same idea, that same hope, the same direction, to be the man, to be the woman that you need to be, and continue to walk. And don't give up. And recognize, if you continue in that person to be the husband you need to be, the one that you're preparing to be the husband you need to be the wife you need to be the wife that you're preparing to be, if you are that, then when that person does arrive, they will see you, you will connect, and you will have the opportunity to create a beautiful relationship. You'll see each other, you'll get to know each other on a level that's deep and also on an intimate way. And it'll be beautiful. It doesn't matter if you have a past, a history. Don't worry about any of that. Get over it. Continue forward. Be that woman, be that man that you need to be, and it will come together. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be an outlier, to be different in the way that you're not like everybody else that engages in these activities. You're willing to wait. You're willing to wait to open your gift, and it'll be a beautiful gift. The most beautiful ever. For sure. It will. All right. So it's been great. Much love. All right. Come out.